Today we'll be working on problem solving 13A. The first step in the problem, we'll be using the UPSI model, the complete UPSI model, to find the answer to problem solving 13A. The first step when we're problem solving is to read the problem. It says a gardener planted 88 red tulip bulbs, 56 yellow roses. He planted the tulip bulbs in rows of 8 bulbs. How many rows of tulip bulbs did the gardener plant? So our next step would be to underline the question, or what is being asked from us. It says the question today is, how many rows of tulip bulbs did the gardener plant? So we need to find out how many rows of tulip bulbs did the gardener plant. So we want to find out how many rows of tulip bulbs were planted. So next step would be to look for information that we need to answer this question and cross out any information we don't need. So it says the gardener planted 88 red tulip bulbs. So these are tulip bulbs, and we are looking for tulip bulbs. So that is information we need. There's 88 red tulip bulbs and 56 yellow roses. These are yellow roses. We're looking for tulip bulbs, not roses. So that is information we don't need. So we can cross out 56 yellow roses. He planted the tulip bulbs in rows of 8 bulbs. So these are bulbs, so we need to know that. I know they're telling us there was 8 bulbs in each row. And now we have the information that we need. Now we need to determine, how do we solve this? So I know there's 88 tulip bulbs, and they were planted with 8 bulbs in each row. So we want to know how many rows were planted. So if we get the 88 and put them in groups of 8, that should give us our answer to how many rows were planted. So if we're putting a total into equal groups, that means we're going to divide, because in division we have a total and we're looking for equal parts or equal groups. So we're putting into equal groups. So I'm going to make my UPSI model. And today I'm going to use all parts of the UPSI model. So this is the understand, the plan, the solve, and the evaluate. So on the plan, we're going to create our strip diagram. So we know we're going to divide 88 red tulips into groups of 8, because there's 8 bulbs in each row. So I create my strip diagram. And my total is 88 tulip bulbs. And I want to put them into groups of 8. That means I need to make 8 groups down here. So in order to make 8 groups, I'm going to make 7 lines. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. That gives me 8 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have 88 broken up into 8 equal groups. And that should give me how many rows of tulip bulbs there are. So here I'm going to put my variable. I'm going to put an R, which stands for rows. So 88, if I break it up into groups, equal groups of 8, that should give me how many rows were planted. So that is the understand part. Now we're working on the plan part. So the plan has 4 parts. It has the operation, the method, the number sentence, and the process. The operations, we just state what operation are we going to use. Our operation is going to be division. We're going to divide. Then what are we going to divide is our method. We're going to divide 88 by 8. And then we have to write our number sentence. Our number sentence would be 88 divided by 8 equals, and we don't know how much it equals yet. And then the process, we're looking for a quotient. We're looking for the quotient. of 88 and 8. So that is our planned part. So we're going to divide 88 by 8. Our number sentence will look 88 divided by 8, and we're looking for the quotient of 88 and 8. So now we have to solve. So the solve, we go 88 divided by 8. And this one, there's two ways I could do it. I could divide that 8, and that would give me 1, and then divide that 8. How many 8s go into that 8? Or I can go, how many 8s go into 88? So if I count by 8, my answer would be 11. There's 11 8s that go into 88. Or I can go, how many 8s go into that 8? 1 8 goes into that 8. Then 1 times 8 is 8. And we subtract, that gives us 0. Bring down the 8. And again, how many 8s go into that 8? That's 1 8. 1 times 8 is 8. I subtract, it gives me 0. So my quotient is 11. My answer would be 11. I can double check that to see if I got it right. If I multiply my quotient and my divisor, I should get my dividend. So if I go 11 times 8, 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. So we get 88. That is my quotient. So I know this checks out. So now that I know that this is my answer, now I have to do the evaluate part. How do I know this is my answer? So I'm going to look back at my questions. How many rows of tulips did the gardener plant? All right, so we're going to write the gardener planted 11 rows of tulips. And how do we know they planted 11 rows of tulips? We can go 88 divided by 8 is 11. So that's how we know that, because 88 is divided by 8, we know that's 11. So that's how we know that the gardener planted 11 rows of tulips. And that's how we do the UPSI model to help us answer that question. Now you try 13B on your own.